Why Jada Pinkett Smith is more problematic than you think. We never thought there was anything more than could be said about Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith's marriage. There have been rumors over the years that they have an open marriage, and what's wrong with that? Or they're about to divorce, but now Pinkett Smith has come right out and said something that no matter how shocking it may be to some women, will resonate with a lot of others. She never wanted to get married. She didn't want to be a wife, and she put her family's needs first and promptly forgot who Jada was. Sound familiar? Don't forget to watch today's video to the very end to learn why Jada Pinkett Smith is more problematic than you think. An unconventional marriage. In an interview in The Guardian, she says, "I knew that I was not built for conventional marriage. Even the word wife, it's a golden cage, swallow the key. Even before I was married, I was like, that'll kill me, and it damn near did." A lot of women have a problem with being a wife ever since Judy Cypher's "I Want a Wife" essay in the first issue of Miss Magazine. Actually, before then, there have been lots of feels about what being a wife means. Books, fiction, and nonfiction, and videos have been made about it. Our most high-profile single woman, Oprah, addressed it, and now Pinkett Smith is getting real about it. It has nothing to do with her marrying the wrong person. She's clear about that and calls him her life partner. It's more about the institution of marriage itself, the roles we take on in it, willingly or not, and how that all plays out. Not always so great, she shares. "I can assure you that some of the most powerful women in the world feel caged and tired because of the sacrifices they have to make to be in that position. So I wanted to talk about how we really feel about marriage. How do we really feel about different, unconventional relationships? How do we really feel about raising children? Honestly." Creating an authentic romantic partnership. Pinkett Smith is asking questions that we try to address in the new I Do. If no one has to marry anymore, then why marry? Why do you hope it accomplishes? Do you want to be a wife or a husband? What does that even mean? How would you create your most authentic romantic relationship if you had permission to make it happen? And you don't need permission to do it. Pinkett Smith is finally in that space, but it took a lot of hard work. Not that that's bad. My hope is that people use her book as a resource to start out that way or recreate a marriage as Pinkett Smith did to better suit who they are now nearly 22 years into it. Even though no one has to marry anymore, the pull of marriage is real. Just recently, Vice dug deep into celebrities and influencers who are tying the knot in every way but legally, throwing elaborate weddings and getting lots of press. Maybe that's the point. Wedding as performance art. It could be that they don't want to make it legal for financial reasons. Divorce is messy and expensive, and even prenups are complicated, but it could also be that of being a husband or a wife still really matters in today's society. It's an achievement of status. The problem with husband. We don't know if men have such a complicated relationship with being a husband, although that carries its own burdens, especially if we still expect men to be the breadwinner, which has become increasingly harder for men to do. As far as I know, only Barbara Ehrenreich has delved into that with The Hearts of Men, American Dreams, and The Flight from Commitment, but she wrote that in the 80s. Who's going to take that on? So Pinkett Smith wants to talk about how we really feel about marriage, how we really feel about different and conventional relationships. Fans are reacting. Will Smith fans have reacted after Jada Pinkett Smith shared yet more details about their private life. Pinkett Smith, who has been married to the actor since 1997, opened up about their sex life during an interview with Gwyneth Paltrow, who was a guest on her Facebook cheat show Red Table Talk. "It's hard," Pinkett Smith said, adding, "The thing Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. We started in this at a very young age, 22 years old. That's why the accountability part really hit for me, because I think you expect your partner to know, especially when it comes to sex." She continued, "It's like, well, if you love me, you should know. If you love me, you should read my mind." That's a huge pitfall. When Paltrow said, "Isn't it weird though? It's like someone doesn't read your mind and we feel crushed." Pinkett Smith agreed. "Tell me what you want, and on top of it, I know that I have to be accountable to do the same. I really try," she continued. "It's uncomfortable, but it's deeply healthy, and I think around sex because it's something that we don't talk about and there's so much fantasy around it." A long history. Pinkett Smith has a long history of opening up about her marriage on Red Table Talk, which led to many wondering what Smith must think whatever he hears what she has been discussing with her guests. Everything I know about Jada and Will's marriage, I learned without my consent. One person reacted, with another adding in reference to Smith's show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We'll just be chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and then here comes Jada. In July 2020, she confirmed she had a relationship with singer August Alsina during a time when she was temporarily separated from Smith. However, Pinkett Smith denied Alsina's claims that her husband had given him permission. Reports of a relationship between the pair first arose in June that year, after Alsina claimed he gave years of his life to a romance with a girls' trip actor during an interview with The Breakfast Club's Angela Yee. The denial is real. After initially denying the reports, the actor admitted to the relationship during an episode of the show the following month. At the time, Pinkett Smith said she and her husband have now reached a place of unconditional love. In April 2021, she told her daughter Willow that she's been infatuated with a woman twice in her life. Will Smith's high-profile film credits include action blockbuster Independence Day, the Men in Black franchise, and romantic comedy Hitch. Pinkett Smith's roles include The Matrix Reloaded and successful comedies Bad Moms and Girls Trip. The pair worked together on 2001 Muhammad Ali biopic Ali, for which Smith received the Best Actor Oscar nomination. Memories from the past. Even though Jada Pinkett Smith's affair with August Alsina occurred years ago, it only recently made headlines. According to Alsina, he and Pinkett Smith had a romantic relationship with Will Smith's permission. Now Jada Pinkett Smith explains why that the affair wasn't a transgression, with Will also clearing up the situation. While addressing the affair on her online talk show Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith went back and forth on their take over the whole thing in hopes to clear the air. At one point in the discussion, Jada Pinkett Smith said the affair wasn't a transgression. After all, she and Will were separated at the time she began dating August Alsina. Pinkett Smith went on to explain her thoughts, saying, "I usually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing. And as I came through and started to realize a few things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me, which was totally understandable, and I let that be and hadn't talked to him since. So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now. A troubled marriage? While reports surfaced years ago about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's troubled marriage, it was only recently on June 30th that singer August Alsina admitted on the radio to having a romantic relationship with Pinkett Smith. Shortly after, Jada Pinkett Smith decided to bring herself to the red table and clear up any misconceptions. For Will Smith, he agreed to come to the red table as well because he was seeing things in the headlines that weren't true. He wanted to set the record straight. He also wanted to make clear that this was something far in the past and not something that happened recently. Here's what the actor said later. "Because for me, this was years ago, right? So the fact that it's coming up now, I think that it could feel weird for people that were laughing and talking about it, but it happened so long ago, and our experience is of working through it, fighting through it, talking through it, therapizing through it. I think that the why now is weird." A long-standing love. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have been married for 20 years. Though they might define it differently, they've admitted they don't call themselves married anymore, but life partners. Where you get in your head, there are no deal breakers. But while they seem committed to each other, in April, Jada Pinkett Smith admitted she didn't know longtime husband Will Smith at all. She went on to explain that there are stories in your head about your partner that end up not actually being who your partner is. Marriage is complicated, but the Smiths' issues are public due to their fame. With that, we end today's video. Don't forget to join in next time for more of such interesting content.